Hello out there and welcome to my channel, All Things Psych. My name is Brittany. I am a licensed clinical psychologist and an adjunct professor here in the Commonwealth of Virginia. In this video, I will go over how to read and understand a scientific research article quickly. Now, before I get into this video, if you are new to my channel, why don't you go ahead and hit that subscribe button? And if you find the information presented in this video today to be particularly helpful for you, give the video a like. I would greatly appreciate it. Now, let's get into this video. I want you to consider if you find yourself in this particular situation. You have a research article in front of you, whether it's pulled up on your laptop or you printed it out, and so you just have a hard copy of it in front of you. You read the title, you then proceed to read the abstract, and then you proceed to read the introduction from beginning to end. And then from there, you move on to each subsequent section of the article. Does that sound like something that you do? Okay, if it does, I want to say that you are not reviewing a research article in the most effective way. And here's what I mean. When reading a research article, and in general, any type of reading assignment, you want to read with intention. This is part of an active reading process. Most of us tend to be very passive in our approach in reading. We just figure that, I'll just start on page 1 and just progress forward. That is a huge time waster, and you lose engagement, with the material. So this is how you can be a more active reader, and this is how you can progress quickly through those 20 and 30 and even 50-page journal articles. You want to start off what we call the skim and scan method. Now, there's one question in this method that you want to initially ask yourself. One is, what is the question being answered in this particular article? What's the question? What are they addressing? Second part, you want to know, will this article provide you with the information that you need? Now, if the answer is yes to both of these questions, then of course you can proceed on with reading the article. Now, you may be wondering, well, how do I know if the answer is yes to both of these questions? In order to find that answer, you will first review over the title, you will review the abstract, and the last paragraph of the introduction. Why the last paragraph of the introduction? Well, that's because typically within the last paragraph of the introduction, the hypothesis or thesis statement is given, and it gives a quick summary of the purpose of this article. So, again, as a quick review, you want to start off by asking yourself the questions of, what is the question being addressed in this article, and will this article provide me with the information that I need? You can answer both of those questions by reading the title, the abstract, and the last paragraph of the introduction. Now, if the answer is yes to both of those questions, then proceed on to step 2. Of course, if the answer to both of those questions is no, then you have a sufficient reason, a valid reason, to move on to another article. See how simple that was? Okay, so let's just say that the answer to both of our questions was a yes. So the second part, this is the second question that you want to know. What did the researchers do to answer the question? Now, what does that sound like you're going to delve into next within your article? If you said the method section, then you're right on target. So you're going to scan the method section, and as you're scanning the method section, you are going to ask yourself, what did the researchers do to answer that question in part 1? Because remember, in part 1, we are asking what is the question being addressed. And so now in part 2, we want to know what the researchers did in order to answer that question in part 1. Now, after reviewing over the method section, then we can progress over to the results. Any graphs or figures that are stated in the results section, we want to review that and ask ourselves, what did they find? That is going to be clarified to you within the results section. After reviewing the results section, you finally will review the first paragraph of the discussion section. And here, in reviewing the first paragraph of the discussion section, you want to ask yourself, what did the researchers say the results mean? So, as an overall review, you're going to, in total, ask yourself 4 questions. Number 1, you're going to ask yourself, it's a 2-part question. For number 1, you will ask yourself, what is the question being addressed? And will this article provide me with the information that I need? In order to answer both parts of question 1, you will read the title, the abstract, and the last paragraph of your introduction. If the answer is yes to both, you will then proceed on to step 2. If not, put the article away and move on to your next article. Question number 2, or step 2, you are going to scan the methods section. As you're scanning the methods section, you're going to ask yourself, what did the researchers do in order to answer their initial question from question 1? After then, you will proceed over to looking at the results and ask yourself, what did the researchers find out? And that will be clearly stated in the results section by reviewing over the figures, the graphs, and other material that they have outlined in that section. And then finally, you are going to get an understanding of what the researchers say the results mean, and that is going to be answered in the first paragraph, generally in the first paragraph of the discussion section. So, that is how you skim and scan a scientific journal article quickly. Now, as you can tell, there's a series of questions that you have to ask yourself. And in asking those questions, we just don't want to make mental note of these questions, because as quickly as we process that information, we can quickly lose it. So you want to write down your responses. So if you do not already have a designated notebook or a designated folder on your laptop for reviewing research articles, start that today. And as you discover the answer to each of those questions, write those answers down in your own words. So don't just simply just write word from word and you're just like kind of copying and pasting exactly what the researcher said. No, that's not helping you to process the information. What you should do is rework that information in your own words so that it makes meaningful sense to you. Well, that's all I have for you in today's video. I hope you find it helpful, and I have an extra bonus for you all. The information that I discussed in this video, I will include a link to the document in the description box. You're welcome. And so you can definitely have that. So, again, if you found this video to be helpful, give it a thumbs up. If you would like me to actually go through this method with a research article, leave a comment in the comment section below. Thank you again for tuning into this video. Be sure to like it, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.